More than 50 years after its release, What's Going On by Marvin Gaye still resonates with a haunting urgency and profound grace. Originally conceived during a time of war, racial injustice, political unrest, the album mirrors many of the same issues we are facing today, making it a socially relevant now as it was in 1971. Gaye's gentle, pleading voice is the album's emotional anchor, offering not just commentary but compassion with songs like What's Going On, Mercy, Mercy Me, and Inner City Blues. Speak directly to the soul, addressing police brutality, environmental destruction, and economic despair. These aren't just, historical laments. They echo headlines and heartbreak from today's world. When you hear a song like Save the Children, it's hard not to think about the atrocities happening in Gaza. Gaye pleases who really cares, who's willing to try to save the world that's, destined to die. Cuts as deep now as it ever, and images of displaced families and suffering, civilizations flood over screens. His voice becomes a cry for humanity that, transcends borders and generations. The album is also steeped in the spirit of Christian music and gospel, not just in its lyrical themes and redemption of love and suffering, but in its musical foundation, the vocal layering, the choral arrangements, and the spiritual overtones kind of gives What's Going On the feel of sort of secular sermon, one that speaks to the streets as much as the sanctuary. Gaye's draws from the church, not to preach, but to inspire hope and call for unity. What makes this album his timeless classic is emotional intelligence and artistic bravery. Gaye didn't just document the world, he challenged it. The lush instrumentation, the seamless transitions, and the spiritual urgency, evaluate the record beyond a protest album into a universal prayer for peace, love, and understanding. Listening to What's Going On today isn't just a trip into the past. It mirrors held up to the present. It's a reminder that music can be, both beautiful and bold, personal and political. Marvin Gaye didn't just ask what's going on. He answered with empathy, and that's why this album will never stop mattering. If you haven't checked this album out, I strongly suggest it. It's amazingly beautiful. I love it. Check it out. Let me know what you think.